I'm your host, Donna Cates, and each week we'll dive into powerful stories, expert strategies, and practical tools to help you take charge of your financial future. Whether you're planning for retirement, navigating a divorce, or simply looking to build your wealth with confidence, this is your space to grow, learn, and thrive. Let's get started with today's podcast. Hello there, Julia Anthony, founder of Solution Medical. I'm so delighted to have you on our program today. Julia, can you just give us a quick 90-second overview of what you do and why you do what you do?
Sure. So thanks, Donna, for the opportunity to do this. So my name is Julia Anthony. I am the founder and chief strategy officer at Solution Medical. One of my degrees is in medical device design, focusing on human interaction. But first and foremost, I am a patient. So I founded Solution Medical out of personal need. I live with a condition where my body cannot make cortisol. So instead of fight or flight, I need a life-saving injection that right now takes 14 steps to prepare and administer. So I founded Solution Medical to be able to streamline that process, make it easier to administer life-saving medication for myself and other people living at risk of one of these acute events. It turns out we started as a device company, Donna, but we're actually a pharmaceutical company. So we not only make our delivery devices, but we're also developing the drugs to go inside. So we're a combination products company. And then those devices can be used, we believe, in the future as a platform for other drugs that need to be mixed at the point of care.
And I have to say, I have multiple autoimmune diseases, and every one of them impacts my adrenals and my
Okay.
cortisone levels, right? Literally, I think you'll appreciate this. Because of this crud that I have, I had to get a steroid shot a couple of weeks ago. Of course, that skyrocketed my blood sugars, made my blood pressure go up. So I totally understand. It's kind of like it can leave you in a brain fog, intense fatigue, all of those things. So having something on hand that you're not having to mix and do this stuff with, that's got to be life changing for so many people.
That's the hope. You still will mix our medication, but with our delivery, so we still have a liquid and a powder, and our device can be used for other drugs that are liquid and powders. But we're making it easier to do that mixing. So we believe that with our product, yes, it will be easier to self-administer, also for caregivers as well as healthcare practitioners in either our pre-filled syringe or auto injector to be able to deliver medication in an easier way.
How awesome. So you've taken your personal experiences and turned it into a huge opportunity to improve the world. Kudos to you. That's awesome.
Thank
So
you.
tell me, you've taken this personal experience and turned it into this full-fledged business, making a difference in the world. What do you find, what makes you unique in the way that you're helping others?
Besides my personal experience, I think that my design degree has helped. So, from a personal experience perspective, I've been told, not by my family, but by society, I've had a great supportive family and, close knit network. But from a societal standpoint and a medical standpoint for most of my life, that things would or should or will be challenging because of what I have. So I think that creates a sense of grit. Even being a female founder, it creates a sense of grit that when someone says no, that's an opportunity to figure out how that no could lead to an alternative solution. But also, being someone who got a design degree, we learned to think about things in creative ways. So it's not just hard skills, which actually I honestly don't use that much anymore, given what I do in the company at this point. But the ability to think outside the box, triangulate different perspectives and different solutions to come up with not necessarily what I think is my best idea, but understand what's best for the company as a whole. And having that design degree and understanding how to think in that creative way has been really helpful.
That sounds awesome. So I'm curious to know, because this is such a changing thing that you've created or new. Tell me where you see the industry going in the next 5 to 10 years, and how are you staying on top of that?
So it's interesting. I was recently at the Partnering Opportunities in Drug Delivery or POD conference up in Boston. It's a great conference for folks in both devices and drugs if they happen to be listening and haven't gone. And there was a talk about dual chamber mixing products. And on that panel, they talked about how 5 or 10 years ago, there wasn't this idea of collaboration amongst device makers, drug makers, and the people who put those things together in supply chains. And now in a post-COVID world where there's been a shift, I think, in the industry towards out of clinic or out of hospital care that's very patient friendly and focused. Um, we happen to be entering the market at a time when the industry in general is starting to recognize the importance of this. So hopefully everything's dovetailing as we're seeing. But I do think by starting with a niche need or a very specific need with a very well educated patient population, but sort of low hanging fruit in that it's been an unmet need since 1955. We can enter the
Mhm.
market really strong and prove our use case and then use it again as a platform as the industry recognizes this need.
That is so awesome. I'm so happy that this is happening for you. So I'd love to hear more about your biggest challenge, failure challenge,
Mhm.
personal or in business, that you faced so far, and how that shaped the way that you do business.
Hmm, that's a hard one. So many to choose from. um, I'll focus on professional, and I guess I'll focus on the 2019, 2020 era when I started the company. So I founded the company in 2019. COVID happened not that much longer thereafter. And, I don't have experience in doing this. I have 33 years of experience from the patient perspective, but up until starting this company, 0 years of experience building out a pharmaceutical company. And for a little while there, COVID felt like that could very easily be the end. But having that time and space, um, there were a lot of unfortunate things going on in the world, of course, at that time, but a lot more people were available than they otherwise may have been had we not had that pause happen. So I was able to literally pick up the phone and call folks who probably never would have been available or likely never would have answered the phone or responded otherwise. So I think that in many ways I was able to turn what could have been the end into an opportunity. And we really launched out of COVID, not as a COVID solution or product, but just leveraging that time in a creative or useful way to grow rather than to go backwards.
That is so awesome. And what I'm hearing is kind of the lemons to lemonade. It's literally, you took an opportunity when a lot of people were just, they were home doing their gardening and home improvements because there wasn't anything else to do, and you were changing the world.
I think that's probably a theme in general with Solution Medical is taking things that some folks might see as negative and trying to frame them in a way. And I think that's where the grit and the design background come into play to frame it in a way where there's opportunity.
That is fabulous. Awesome. All right, going to shift gears on you here. If
Okay.
you could have lunch with any person, living or
Wow.
deceased, who would it be and why?
Oh my goodness. I feel like when I get asked these questions, my answer, or similar ones, my answer always changes. I need to go back and like see the history of what I answer. But so John F. Crowley, he is the CEO of Bio Group. I've spoken with him for about 5 minutes on the phone. I had the opportunity to do that. But his story is incredibly inspirational. He's been the founder of a pharmaceutical company where the drugs they made were to save two of his children's lives. There's a book about it, there's a movie about it. Him and a few other folks in the industry have definitely been inspirations to me to make sure to keep utilizing the personal story to continue on this journey even when it's hard. So I think it would be a really exciting and incredible opportunity to be able to meet him in person at some point.
And the great thing is he's still living, so you have that opportunity still,
He
right?
is, and he goes to a lot of places that I think our paths will cross at some point.
That is so awesome. Well, I'm putting that positive energy out there for you so you can have that meeting. That sounds like an awesome opportunity. So I would love to know if people want to reach out to you, learn how to just work with you. Where's the best place for them to reach you?
So I on LinkedIn, always connecting with folks on LinkedIn. I tend to be pretty responsive, but not that's not a promise. I do my best to keep up with everything on there, but eventually I will respond. Also through the company's website, solutionmedco.com. There's a way to contact us through there.
Awesome. And we'll make sure that we share all of that in the show notes as well. So thank you so much for being with us today. I appreciate it. And I know our listeners are going to gain a lot of insight and learn about how we take that personal experience and rather than hiding in it, being vulnerable and having that true grit like you talked about.
Thank you. I appreciate it. It's sort of the North Star when things get really hard, and they're always hard every day for different reasons with trying to build an international pharmaceutical company from the basement, not even the ground floor, from the basement. So it certainly serves as a North Star to keep going. So thank you
That's
for sharing
awesome.
my story.
You're very welcome. I was honored to meet you today. I hope today's conversation left you feeling inspired, informed, and ready to take the next step in your financial journey. Remember, building wealth isn't just about money, it's also about creating a life that aligns with your goals and values. If you found this episode valuable, please subscribe, leave a review, and share it with the women in your life who deserve financial empowerment too. Until next time, stay confident, stay empowered, and keep building the life you desire.